Greetings everyone. Let's start the today's topic, that is operating system, lecture 4. Let us see the topics we will cover under this section, which are types of OS, that are single user, multi-user, multiprocessing, multiprogramming, multitasking, multi-threading, batch processing, and online processing. So let us first start with the classification of operating system. An operating system performs all the basic tasks like managing files, processes, and memory. Thus, the operating system acts as the manager of all the resources, that is, resource manager. Thus, the operating system becomes an interface between user and a machine. Now we'll talk about the types of operating system. Some widely used operating system are as follow. The first one is single user, which is also known as single tasking OS. An operating system that allows a single user to perform only one task at a time is called a single user. Single tasking operating system functions like printing a document, downloading images, etc. can be performed only one at a time. Examples include MS-DOS, Palm OS, etc. The second one is multi-user OS. In a multi-user OS, more than one user can use the same system at the same time through the multi-input-output terminal or through the network. For example, Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. A multi-user OS uses time sharing to support multiple users. The third user that we are going to talk about is multiprocessing operating system. A multiprocessing operating system can support the execution of multiple processes at the same time. It uses multiple CPUs. It is expensive in cost, however, the processing speed will be faster. It is complex in its execution. Operating systems like Unix, 64-bit edition of Windows, server edition of Windows, etc. are multiprocessing. The next type we are going to talk about is multi-programming OS. In a multi-programming OS, more than one program can be used at the same time. It may or may not be multiprocessing. In a single CPU system, multiple programs are executed one after another by dividing the CPU into small slices. The next type is multitasking OS. In a multitasking OS system, more than one task can be performed at the same time, but they are executed one after another through a single CPU by time sharing. For example, Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. Multitasking OS is of two types. That is primitive multitasking, and second one is cooperative multitasking. In primitive multitasking, the OS allows computer, the CPU, times to slice each program. After each slice, the CPU executes another task. In cooperative multitasking, a task can control CPU as long as it requires. However, it will free CPU to execute another program if it does not require CPU. The next type we are going to talk about is multi-threading. A program in execution is known as process. A process can further be divided into multiple subprocesses. These subprocesses are known as threads. A multi-threading OS can divide processes into threads and execute those threads. This increases operating speed but also increases the complexity. For example, Unix, server edition of Linux and Windows. The next type is batch processing. The batch processing is a group of processing system in which all the required input of all the processing tasks is provided initially. The result of all the tasks is provided after the completion of all the processing. Its main functions are multi-tasks are processed. Users cannot provide input in between the processes. It is appropriate only when all the inputs are known in advance. It requires large memory. CPU idle time is less. Printer is the appropriate output device. It is old processing technique and rarely used at present. The next technique is online processing. It is an individual processing system in which the task is processed on an individual basis as soon as they are provided by the user. It has features like individual task is processed at a time. Users can provide input in between processing. It is appropriate when all inputs are not known in advance. It does not require a large memory. CPU idle time is more. Monitor is appropriate output device. It is modern processing technique and mostly used in present.